Have you ever laughed so hard that you couldn't even explain why? Think about it. Someone says something completely ordinary. Your friend suddenly bursts into laughter. A second later, you're laughing too. Within moments, everyone around you is smiling. Then, 5 minutes later, nobody can even remember what was so funny. Strange, isn't it? Laughter feels so natural that we almost never question it. We laugh every single day. Babies laugh before they can speak. Friends laugh together. Families laugh together. Entire crowds laugh together. But why? If laughter exists only because something is funny, then why is it contagious? Why do you sometimes laugh just because someone else is laughing? And why has evolution kept such a strange behavior alive for millions of years? From a survival perspective, laughter makes very little sense. It doesn't help you run faster. It doesn't make you stronger. It doesn't help you escape danger. Evolution usually removes anything that wastes time or energy. Yet laughter survived. Not only that, and it spread to every culture on Earth. There must be a reason. And that reason is far older than jokes, far older than language, far older than civilization. Because the story of laughter doesn't begin with humans, it begins millions of years ago. Imagine standing in an African forest long before the first human ever existed. Young chimpanzees are chasing each other through the trees. They jump, wrestle, bite, and roll across the ground. If you watch them for the first time, you might think they were fighting. Their mouths are open, their teeth are showing, their bodies crash into one another. It looks dangerous, but it isn't. They're playing. And while they play, they constantly produce short, rhythmic breathing sounds. Those sounds carry an important message. This isn't a real fight. Nobody is trying to hurt you. You're safe. Without that signal, every playful bite could be misunderstood as an attack. One mistake could turn a game into a real battle. Scientists have discovered that these playful sounds are remarkably similar to human laughter. Not identical, but similar enough to suggest they share the same ancient origin. That changes everything because it means humans didn't invent laughter. We inherited it. Long before anyone told the first joke, before the first story, before the first spoken word, evolution had already discovered the power of laughter. But if laughter wasn't created for comedy, then what exactly was it created for? Hundreds of thousands of years passed. The forests slowly gave way to open plains. Our ancestors changed. They walked on two legs. They crafted simple tools. They learned to control fire. But one thing never changed. They still lived in a dangerous world. Imagine sitting beside a small campfire nearly 200,000 years ago. The sun has disappeared. Darkness surrounds your group. Beyond the firelight, you can't see anything, only hear it. A branch suddenly cracks somewhere in the distance. Every conversation stops. Children instinctively move closer to their parents. Hunters slowly reach for their spears. Nobody speaks. Nobody moves. Every pair of eyes stares into the darkness. Another sound, this time, closer. Your heart begins to race. For a few terrifying seconds, everyone prepares for the worst. Then, a frightened antelope bursts out of the bushes before disappearing into the night. Silence, a deep breath. One hunter lowers his spear. Someone smiles. Another person lets out a quiet laugh. Within seconds, the entire group is laughing. Not because something was funny, because everyone suddenly realized the same thing. They were still alive. Moments like these happened thousands of times across human history. Again and again, our ancestors experienced the same emotional pattern: fear, relief, laughter. Without realizing it, they were strengthening something far more valuable than a single person's survival. They were strengthening the group. Long before humans had complex language, they still needed ways to communicate powerful emotions almost instantly. Fear spread through the group in seconds. Relief needed to spread just as quickly. Laughter became one of the fastest ways to do exactly that. It told everyone the same simple message: the danger is over. Over thousands of generations, something remarkable happened. humans discovered they didn't need a predator to trigger that feeling anymore. A friend could pretend to fall. Someone could imitate another hunter. A child could make a silly face. For just a moment, your brain expected something serious. Then it realized there was no danger at all. The result was always the same: relief, followed by laughter. In many ways, that is still how humor works today. A great joke leads your brain toward one expectation before suddenly replacing it with another. Your mind experiences a split second of uncertainty. Then comes the realization that everything is okay. As human communities grew larger, laughter found a new purpose. It no longer belonged only to survival. It became the invisible glue holding people together. Families laughed while sharing food. Friends laughed while telling stories. Children laughed while learning from adults. Entire groups laughed around the same fire, creating memories long before anyone wrote them down. Civilizations would eventually build temples, kingdoms, and cities. Languages would evolve. Empires would rise and disappear. Yet every generation inherited the same ancient sound, a sound that quietly reminded people of something they could all understand. You belong here, and for this moment, you are safe. Today, modern science is finally beginning to understand what evolution built millions of years ago. One discovery surprised researchers more than almost anything else. Humans don't laugh the most while listening to jokes. We laugh the most during ordinary conversations. A friend says something simple. Someone else smiles. Another person laughs. Within seconds, the entire group feels more relaxed. Most of the time, nothing particularly funny has happened, because laughter was never designed for comedians. It was designed for people. Researchers have also discovered that hearing another person laugh automatically activates parts of your own brain before you've even decided whether something is funny. That's why laughter spreads so easily. One genuine laugh can change the atmosphere of an entire room, not because everyone suddenly finds the same thing hilarious, but because your brain receives an ancient message. If everyone else feels safe, maybe I am safe too. Then scientists made another remarkable discovery. Rats laugh, not in a way we can hear. Their laughter is ultrasonic, but when researchers gently tickle them, they produce tiny bursts of sound and often come back looking for more. They aren't responding to humor, they're responding to play, to safety, to connection. Which means one of evolution's oldest social signals existed long before humans ever walked the earth. And that's when everything falls into place. Perhaps we've been asking the wrong question all along. Maybe laughter wasn't created because humans invented humor. Maybe humans invented humor because evolution had already given us laughter. Comedy didn't create laughter. Laughter created comedy. Every joke you've ever laughed at, every funny movie, every ridiculous story shared with friends is simply activating a system that has existed for millions of years. The next time you hear someone laughing, stop for just a moment. That sound is older than language, older than civilization, older than humanity itself. It once echoed through ancient forests where young apes learned to play without fear. It echoed around campfires where exhausted hunters realized they had survived another night. It echoed through families, villages, kingdoms, and generations, quietly reminding people that they belong together. Today we live in cities instead of forests. We carry phones instead of spears. The world around us has completely changed, but your brain hasn't forgotten. Hidden beneath every smile, every shared joke, and every uncontrollable burst of laughter is the very same message that helped our ancestors survive. You belong, you survived, you are safe. And maybe that's the real reason humans laugh. Not because life is funny, but because for millions of years, laughter has been one of evolution's simplest ways of telling us that, at least for this moment, everything is okay.